Hi, welcome back to My High Plains Life. I'm Danielle, your host, and it is March 23rd, Wednesday, and there's a blizzard outside. Yes, believe it or not, it is spring here in the Rocky Mountains. Yesterday it was mid-60s, and today it is in the teens with wind gusts up to 58 miles per hour and snow on the ground and closed roads. That's Colorado for you. So my husband's home from work today because they closed the office at noon. So he's been working from his home office today. And so I'm kind of having to record around him today and the dogs with him. Of course, I've been abandoned. Once my husband comes home, I get abandoned by the dog. She sucks up to him. Let's see. Let's start with On the Needles. For FOs, I have a finished object, but it's, as the Knitmore girls would say, it's finished, but it's not finished. This is my Eileen tee. I'll hopefully be wearing it next time. I finished seaming it. I seamed on the sleeves and stitched the neckline, which is rolling in on me. Of course, why shouldn't it? So maybe I apparently need to block that too again. I don't know. But my ends are not woven in. So it's finished, but it's not finished. I still have almost a full skein of Sedona yarn left. So now I'm kind of regretting not making it longer in the body. I thought I was worried about running out of yarn. And so, and I'm short. So I thought I'd be safe getting away with only 14.5 inches in the body before I started decreasing for my shoulder seams. But apparently not. Like, there's a pretty deep V down the front anyway, so I'm going to have to wear a tank with it. But if I pull it down in front, then I really need to wear a tank with it. Like, it's not even decent at that point. That was always kind of my plan anyway, but that just kind of solidified it. So hopefully next time it will be finished. Okay, there's finished, and then there's finished, where you've actually done project photos of it and put it on my Ravelry page. That's, just so you all know the nomenclature, correct nomenclature then. The terms, as it were. That's the only thing that I have finished over the last couple weeks. I have made some significant progress on some other things though. My blueberry waffle socks that I'm knitting for my mother-in-law, I actually got her to try them on. They fit good in the cuff, and I only have about another inch or so to go in the toe on one sock. So I've been doing these not two at a time, but concurrently. So here's one. There's the heel that I made out of a contrasting yarn because that uses nylon. And then there's the foot. And I only have about another inch to go on the foot before I can start decreasing for the toe. And then here is my second sock, which I again have also finished the cuff, finished the heel, turned the heel, and have a pretty good, about half the foot done. And this one is not pulling as badly as this one has. Do you see how the blue and brown and the red and purple are kind of pooling? This one is not pooling as badly because I've broken up the waffle stitch pattern, and about every other pattern repeat I'm adding in an extra knit row, and that seems to be helping. So couple more inches of knitting on the toe or on the instep, and then decrease for my toe, and I'll have a pair of socks done. And these are in my Bead Sisters bag, mustache bag. And my other work in progress that I've actually started, not a project bag. I know. Is, let me get a picture of it. My Celtic Myths shawl. Whoops. That's what it'll look like. And I am doing this out of pashmina in the worn denim colorway. I'm actually considering ripping it out because this is supposed to be a sport weight, and I guess it is, but to me it feels more like a fingering, a heavy fingering. So this is all I have so far. And I'm thinking I want to do it in a heavier yarn. I mean, I think this is going to be lovely. And I'm really enjoying the variegation. That's a pretty accurate color. It looks like worn denim. With a little bit of grays and greens and blues. You know how it fades on at the creases. But it's just... It's working up more slowly than I was expecting because it really should be done with a DK weight yarn, and instead I used a sport, which ends up being more like a heavy fingering. So, I don't know. Continue or rip? That is the question. So, I don't know. I'll probably give it a little more. I don't have anything else in yarn in my stash that I could make it out of, and I'm really trying to not purchase any more yarn in the next couple months. So, yeah. So maybe I'll just keep going with it. I have worked some on my prayer shawl number 2. From my prayer shawl ministry at church. It's just a garter stitch shawl, so I'm not going to show you that. And I've also worked some more on the seraphine shawl that I'm making for my mom, but because I've spent so much time working on the cables, it hasn't really grown much, so it's not really worth showing you. There's not much difference from the last time I showed you. Someday there will be, though. I'll have gotten far enough that there will be a difference. And that is it for my knitting whips. What am I stocking? Nothing. I've been very good staying away from the pattern pages. Really am trying to finish up my whips and my new cast on of my Celtic Mist shawl. And I've also been very good this last month and have made no new acquisitions. As far as spinning goes, I'm still working on that white cormo very slowly. But I have done some spindle spinning of some brown and black blend called cappuccino of 100% alpaca, which is lovely, but it has a lot of yum in it. So It's not going as smoothly as I'd like because I have to stop and pick the VM out. I have purchased this same alpaca roving from the same vendor previously, and I had no problems with it. So I went back to him and got this, and either he switched mills or I'm not sure what happened, but tons of VM, tons in this roving. So it's slow going. Oh, excuse me. Blizzards just make you want to curl up on the couch with some hot tea and Netflix marathon. Sorry. So that's it for on the needle and all my spinning. Under the needle, I've gotten quite a lot accomplished. As far as my cousin Nicole's wedding quilt goes, I've finished several more blocks. I did another block with the bear in it, just so the last one isn't so lonesome by itself. These are the same block pattern. You can tell how just changing up some fabrics makes a difference. And then because I just needed some fast, 1, 2, 3, 4, I made 4 9-patch blocks. Just a simple 9-patch out of some of the fabrics. I think they're all the same. Since I need like 30 some 9-inch blocks, I kind of cheated and just did a very simple block to knock some out because I was off my schedule of doing so many per week. So that is my blocks for my cousin Nicole's quilt. I've also continued along with the First Thursday mystery quilt block. And this month's were really cute. We had just a simple spinning wheel. Oh, that's kind of washed out. It's a very vibrant green. Bright green and blue. This using scrappy reds. And then this block is what each of these corner blocks are made from. So it's basically taken 4 of these blocks, smaller, and made a little 9-patch. So I really like these. I love the fabrics this month. So that was my mystery quilt block. And because I can't get enough reproduction prints, my Joe Morton quilt club that I'm doing, it's called Joe's Little Women Quilt Club Joe's Little Women Club 15, which means this is the 15th year they've done it, for 2016 by Joe Morton. These are some of the quilts we'll be making this year. And so last month's that I showed you was this pineapple table runner. And I had not made those at the time. Well, now I have. Only 4 of the 8. These are very tedious. They take a long time because it's paper piecing. Sorry, I have a thread. And so it starts with a sheet that looks like this. That's right. That is how many little pieces there are. 12 times 4 plus 1. Or how many pieces are in this block. And then you have to do 8 of them, and I've only finished 4. So you start like this. It's numbered. You start at the number 1, and you put that first piece of fabric there. Then you go to the number 2s. Whoops. Wrong way. 2, 2, 2, 2. And you add those pieces of fabric and stitch on the line. And then you add your 3s, and then your 4s, and 5, 6, etc., all the way out to your 12s. And then that, and the pattern also tells you which colors placement to go where. And then that ends up looking like this. And this is done with reproduction prints, Joe Morton prints. The pink in the center is not a Joe Morton print, but it is reproduction. And it's browns and reds, alternating browns and reds. 2, 3, 4. So aren't they pretty? They're going to look so pretty when they're all stitched together. And that's going to make a little table runner. So tedious. Just because there's so many little pieces and you have to be perfect stitching them all together. But I love the final result. And this is called a pineapple block, which is a very traditional block in American quilting. Because the pineapple was a symbol of hospitality and of home and hearth. So it shows up a lot in quilting, in crochet motifs, in fabric patterns, in furniture design. A lot of time you'll have the pineapple finials at the top of bedposts or chair backs. So very, very traditional. And I love the final result. So I'm looking forward to getting my other 4 blocks finished and put together, and then starting on this month's, because I have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I guess, before I have to have it finished. I don't have to, but I get extra points if I do. So that is what has been under my needle. As far as in the garden goes, yes, it's technically spring, even though it's blizzarding here. I have a plan to hire a landscaper to replace the sod in the backyard and add some more perennials. I was going to call him today, but time got past me, so I'll call tomorrow and get that scheduled in. It might seem early yet, but spring is a busy time for landscapers, so I'm going to try and get in on their schedule as early as I can. In the bee yard, yes, it's time for bee season to start again. I'm very excited. I haven't checked to see if my bees made it through the winter yet, which is bad on me. I should have checked by now, see if they needed any supplemental feed, and if so, put that on them. We've had temperature fluctuations up and down. I have not seen any dandelions yet, but there is pollen somewhere because my allergies have kicked in. So there is pollen out there. Probably not nectar yet, but they've got the pollen, which helps in brood production. So my plan is to get out there on the next nice day when it's not muddy and check, see if my bees survived, see if they need any additional feed, and if so, get that on them. Get a pollen patty on them to help, again, stimulate brood rearing, so that when the nectar flow does come, they have the population necessary to take advantage of that. And because it's spring and beekeeping season is coming upon us, Pikes Peak Beekeepers Association has had their beekeeper school, beginning beekeeping school. The last several weekends in March, it's a 2-day class, and they've done 2 sessions, so, which were both sold out, full classes, which I think brings in 80 people. So that is a bunch of new beekeepers out there, which I'm really excited about, because the more bees out there, the more chance we have of our, if you happen to have to requeen, or if you let it supersede naturally, more drones out there for queens to breed with, and just more pollinators. So that's always the goal. Everybody I've talked to has package bees already sold out. What a package of bees is, I should have brought my empty box. I have an empty package from 2 years ago. It's about 3 pounds of bees, which is a couple cups. So it's a couple cups of bees. They just shake them into the box. They start with some good solid hives. They pull the frames. They shake them into a funnel. It funnels it down, and then they fill up the screened boxes. And so it's a couple cups of bees, about 3 pounds worth. And then they add a queen with the several attendants in a queen cage and a can of sugar syrup. So they have something to feed on. And then they ship these packages east. Generally, most of them are made in California and Texas. Some in Georgia. I got mine from Northern California several years ago, and I've had bees survive since then, so that's what I've been going with. Package costs about $100, so it's not necessarily cheap to get set up starting with beekeeping, but it is absolutely worthwhile. So if you are interested in keeping bees, now's the time to place your orders. Hopefully you can find somebody that hasn't sold out already, and place your orders for a package of bees or a nuke. A nuke is 3 to 5 frames full of bees and a queen. So it's a little more established, but it's a little more expensive too. So that's it for in the bee yard. Off topic. I have been watching Yarnings recently. It's a good podcast. She has made a great colorwork sweater recently, and a lot of her projects are really beautiful, and she takes them and makes them her own, which is something I really like and admire, and am hoping to be able to do that myself. There's things after I finish a project, like with my Eileen tea, I can say, oh, I should have done this, I should have made it longer, etc. I could have done this, but I am afraid to take that risk at the time. So I really admire somebody who can take a pattern and, while working on it, alter it and make it their own. I have been off-grid recently due to visiting my sister and brother-in-law. Had a lot of fun playing with the nieces. They've moved recently, so we helped them get some painting done in their house and some unpacking done. It got up to 90 degrees in Phoenix, and then we come home to Colorado Springs and it's snowing and windy and blizzard weather again. Ah, love it, this spring. So that's about it for off topic. I think I've blathered enough today. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram and Periscope as Danny Girl CO for Danny Girl Colorado. And show notes can be found at www.myhighplainslife.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.